Welcome to the 2020 Year in Review, a year like no other. As the Chamber started the year focused on the theme of Live, Love, Tyler, several events and luncheons provided opportunities for celebrating achievements as well as networking. The Senior Health and Living Expo took place in October with more than 1,400 in attendance. The annual Hispanic Business Alliance Hispanic Achievers and Business Leaders Luncheon featured Shannon Dacus as the guest speaker and a crowd of 650 people. In November, the State of the District Luncheon was held at the Rose Garden Center with a capacity crowd of 400. The B2B Business Expo was another big success in January, with more than 150 businesses showcasing their products and services to more than 2,500 in attendance. Ohio State running back J.K. Dobbins was honored as the 7th recipient of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. C4 Career Connections event was held Friday, January 10th at TJC. 250 students attended a workshop focused on job readiness. Visit Tyler moved offices to the Plaza Tower Visitor Center in February. In addition, there were several business after hours, a few ribbon cuttings, and one power networking breakfast when, as the month of March progressed, COVID hit and turned everyone's world upside down. Spring events such as the Seniors Celebrating Life and the Energy Summit were rescheduled multiple times and eventually canceled for 2020. As a matter of fact, most of the events for the remainder of 2020 were canceled. In July, the TEDC annual meeting was presented virtually, where they reported that during the year, TEDC worked on 19 projects that created 1,497 new jobs, retained 369 jobs, and over 100 million in new facilities and production equipment. Highlights included waste quit manufacturing, plans investment of $6 million, and the creation of 133 new jobs. Dragline Service Specialties plans to invest $15 million and add 88 new jobs. As part of the Texas Enterprise Zone program, TEDC assisted Tyler Pipe with its nomination by the City of Tyler as an enterprise project. Tyler Pipe plans to add $9 million in new investment to its current facility and retain all 369 jobs. As the spring and summer progressed, ribbon cuttings and business after hours were put on hold with hopes of resuming them when it was safe to do so. While there were more cancellations than events, some activities continued via creativity and the use of technology. Visit Tyler stayed busy and launched the Rambling Rose podcast, as well as a campaign titled Rose City Strong that was shared throughout the city. They created the Thirsty Pines Tour to encourage patronization of local businesses and also introduced a redesigned website. And lots of things were done differently. The 2020 School is Cool event became a drive-through, where backpacks and other supplies were distributed to 2,300 students for their use this school year. Chamber board meetings and other committee meetings took place with those making presentations attending in person, sitting socially distanced in the Jennicove room, while others attended virtually. Thanks to funding from the Jennicove Group, the Jennicove Room was recently remodeled, including state-of-the-art audiovisual capabilities, and is the ideal setup for virtual meetings. Throughout the year, the Contact Club remained committed to the important task of membership development and supporting the Chamber. Contactors earning their first production awards this year include Maritza Bedola, Academy Mortgage; Starla Bickerstaff, Hospitality Health ER Tyler; Cheryl Sarton, The Property Shop Group; Violet Stripling, Solaris Hospice; and Lisa Wells, City of Tyler. Earning their second production awards are Jessica Brown, Tyler ISD; Gina Sundin, The Azalea Catering Company; Brian White, Edward Jones, and Jenny Wilson, Express Employment Professionals. Shauna Yaki Bryant with M. Roberts Media earned her second and third production awards. Earning their third production awards were Camille Brown, Heart to Heart Hospice, and Brian Pearson, New York Life. James Kidd with Green Cat Consulting earned his third and fourth production awards. Yana Yelverton, Keller Williams Realty, earned her fourth production award. Ryan Tu of Ryan Tu Marketing earned her seventh production award. And Mika Mullins with Granger Industrial Supply earned her 6th and 7th production awards. Connie Schaefer with TXU Energy earned her 8th production award. Earning their 11th production awards are Nicole Cox, Abel's Land, and Jim Toman Insurance. Brad Farr, Regions Bank, earned his 10th, 11th, and 12th production awards. Tanya Reddick, Cider Properties, earned her 13th and 14th production awards. Kitty Springer, Neora, earned her 20th and 21st production awards. Cindy Smoke, Sport Tyler, earned her 54th, 55th, 56th, and 57th production awards. And earning her life membership is Mika Mullins. As this chamber year, filled with a few pivots and many changes, came to a close, there were a few more important changes. Tom Mullins retired as president and CEO of both the Tyler Area Chamber of Commerce and Tyler Economic Development Council. In October, we welcomed Scott Martinez as the new president and CEO of the TEDC and CEO of the Chamber. Henry Bell was named president of the Chamber. We wish Tom the best of luck as he retires from TEDC and moves on to other work in the community. Tom arrived in Tyler from Rochester, Minnesota in 1989 as the president and CEO of the newly formed Tyler Economic Development Council. And for the last 30 years, Tom, in his role at TEDC, assisted hundreds of companies with startup or expansion plans. TEDC was created in 1988 by a group of Tyler and Smith County community leaders in order to aggressively pursue diversifying the economy following the rapid decline of the energy sector and resulting declines in real estate and banking. Upon his arrival, Tom hired staff and met with 40 local businesses to create an economic plan with incentives to aggressively market Tyler nationally. Tom and other business leaders were front and center promoting Tyler as a great place to live and work. Within 3 years, there were 23 new projects, 763 direct jobs, and $15.6 million in direct investment. TEDC was off and running. In 1992, TEDC and the Tyler Area Chamber formed a partnership, and Tom was named the CEO of both. That same year, UT Tyler expanded to become a 4-year institution supported by the Chamber and TEDC. During Tom's tenure, there were many homegrown companies that expanded and brought additional jobs and investment to the area. Companies like Distant Lands, Seal-Type Building Fasteners, Mentoring Mines, VME Processing, Motor Trike, and Heb Industries. In 1994, John Souls Foods expanded their plant with a $30 million, 60,000 square foot facility, in addition to several investments in infrastructure. Brookshire Grocery Company made several commitments to Tyler. They chose Tyler as the location for their $27 million cold storage warehouse and distribution facility, as well as the acquisition of the Old Southland Distribution Center. Over the years, national companies already in Tyler, such as Train and Tyler Pipe, underwent multiple consolidation and expansion projects. In 1999, Suddenlink chose Tyler as its 5-state regional headquarters and customer service center, employing 1,000 people. Other highlights during Tom's tenure included the new Target Distribution Center, which was an effort in partnership with the City of Lindale. Their $85 million, 1.7 million square foot distribution center opened in 1995 and employed 1,000 people. In 2012, Centene opened their 50,000 square foot claims processing center. In 2016, Fresenius Medical Care opened its 80,000 square foot medical billing and patient placement business center and will employ 500 at full capacity. In February of 2017, Highland Dairy acquired the manufacturing assets of Brookshire Grocery Company's ice cream, dairy, and water plants, and Highland is currently in the process of expanding and upgrading the facility. The expansion and improvements project will generate up to $45 million in new investment and create up to 80 new jobs and retain 74 jobs. In 2017, Sanderson Farms' new facilities brought 1,700 new jobs and $176 million in investment to the Tyler area. Also under Tom's leadership, the Blackstone building was renovated in 1998 with funding from the local business community to house the Chamber, TEDC, as well as other related organizations, all under one roof. During the last 30 years, Tom has served in leadership positions with many statewide and regional economic development boards. TEDC has been recognized statewide and nationally as well. Looking back through the last 30 years, TEDC has worked on 182 projects for companies that brought over 12,000 new jobs, retained more than 15,000 jobs, and created over $1.2 billion in new investment. Thank you, Tom, on behalf of our entire community, for a job well done.
Tom and I's careers in the business has married each other. We've been together 31 years. Tom came to Tyler in the same year that I went to work for the Chamber. I started a few months before he did, so we've worked together a very long time. Tom and I came from completely different backgrounds. We're as different as night and day, but there's no two people that I would say are as close to each other as we are, and we've worked through a lot of different issues and had lots of success in Tyler. So the pleasure for me is that I've been able to work with Tom Owens for 31 years and absolutely love it. And I would have to say the thing that I'm proudest of is that I'm very proud to say that Tom is my friend.
I just want to thank Tom for his years of service in Tyler. I've never met a more professional economic developer who was focused on his community and his profession. It's been great working with you, Tom, and thank you so very, very, very much for all you've done for Tyler, Texas.
Well, thank you all for that video, and thank you all for being here today. Before I thank some other folks, I want to just do a shout out to first responders and the medical community, people working on the front lines to try to keep us safe in this pandemic. Thank you very much. So there are some folks that helped me get to this point here today. My wife Sharon in the foremost, because when we were thinking about taking this job 31 years ago in Rochester, Minnesota, I wasn't sure, and she said, let's go. Let's try it, and it worked. Our kids were 10 and 1 years old, Aaron and Sam, and we came down together, and now I look back on it, it was a great decision. And it worked well because of some other people too. First of all, have been a partner with Henry Bell for 31 years. We both started working in Tyler. Well, he'd been in Tyler obviously generations, but working with the Tyler Chamber and starting the Economic Development Council in 1989. And that team is fabulous. Tori Hansen, Jenny Wilson, Stephanie Petrie, and it's been a great partnership. And then the other group that is so talented, Visit Tyler, headed up by Sherry Lee and Cindy Smoke and Susan Travis and Holly Fornicke. They are one of the best teams in the state of Texas. Then we have the Economic Development team that we put together over the years. Felicia Herndon, Victor Valle, Carla Anders, Nikki Hodges, Drew Camps. Really one of the most talented groups in the entire state of Texas and even beyond. And now most recently, Scott Martinez has joined us and is leading us as our new president CEO and the CEO of the Chamber. I've known Scott for 20 years. He's going to do a tremendous job in Tyler and in East Texas, which he's new to, but he's meeting people every single day and getting up to speed, and he'll do a great job. And then finally, all of the folks out there that have been supporters, volunteers on the committees, people who took leadership positions on boards, and then our investors, because TEDC is a privately supported organization. And then the public-private, nonprofit profit partnership that we've created, I think is the envy of a lot of economic development groups and chambers and visitor groups in the state of Texas. You know, as I look back on the 31 years and think of how I came here during an energy recession, and now unfortunately because of the pandemic we're in another recession, but in between we've built one of the most diverse economies in Texas. We are now in East Texas the largest population center, the fastest growing MSA, the most diverse economy. And that wouldn't have happened without all of the support of everyone in this community and everybody in this room. And we thank you for helping make that happen.